the Knicks are up 2-0. Where do I start with this? So let's go back to game one. Let's go back to game one because I thought the Knicks played a fantastic game one, specifically keeping this game close. This was a tie game going into the fourth quarter. It was an incredible game overall. My number one thing was, hey, Wemby and Champagnie led the team in rebounding, but I swear there's a difference between winning on the glass statistically and winning on the glass mentally, because the Knicks continued late in that third and fourth quarter to get just stabbed to the heart rebounds, is what I'd like to call it, right? Josh Hart in that game didn't really have to didn't shoot the ball well at all, but 15 rebounds. Karl-Anthony Towns 12 rebounds. We're gonna get into why Karl-Anthony Towns through 2 games is my Finals MVP, but we'll talk about that in a second here. Look at the bench production though. Landry Shamet, 13 points off the bench, 33 minutes, brings such great, valuable off-ball movement, gravity, and three-point shooting. Jose Alvarado, I thought, gave them very valuable minutes. Deuce McBride, we got to talk about him in game 2, because he was hitting some ridiculous shots. And really, the only thing that you could say about the Spurs bench in game 1 was Dylan Harper had a good game. But outside of that, you can see 26% from 3, 11 of 43 shooting. One of the biggest pet peeves or disappointments of the series so far we have to talk about is De'Aaron Fox. 3 of 13 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3, 5 assists to 3 turnovers. This is not what the team thought they were getting when they traded for you in 2024 or 2025. I guess it was one of the 2 years. De'Aaron Fox has been solid. Now, mind you, he's dealt with a couple injuries. He's been kind of in and out. And mind you, they have Castle, who does tend to be the primary ball handler. Dylan Harper coming off the bench has been amazing. But, Fox, this is unacceptable, especially at home, right? When a team that traded for you, you really haven't shown much energy. You haven't shown much rotation. Wemby, 26 points looks good on the stat sheet, 26 and 12. But when you account for 6 turnovers, only 2 for 9 from 3. I watched both of these games with Knicks fans every single time that there's 14 seconds left on the shot clock and Victor Wembanyama is on the perimeter and taking some perimeter-based shot. Every Knicks fan I'm around is like, hallelujah. You're allowing Wemby out of the paint and you're forcing him to shoot on the perimeter. That's a great way to beat him. It's a great, easy, effective way to at least not let their offense get into as much of a rhythm as when you're running the pick and roll with a Fox and Wemby, or you're spreading the court with a Champagnie, who I thought's played great. Champagnie has played his heart out in this entire Western Conference Finals, the NBA Finals so far. But realistically, when you're such a perimeter-based team, 50% of your shot attempts are coming from behind the arc when you have Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Castle, who are really not looked at as three-point specialists in a way. It's like, man, get into the paint. So then heading into game 2, I really expected San Antonio to come out and dominate the paint game. And yet, they play a great first quarter. They're up by 9. And that second quarter, they can't hit a shot. Knicks go on like a 10-0 run in that second quarter when Wemby's, on and off the floor. And they lose the rebounding again. Karl-Anthony Towns, 13 rebounds. 6 for Hart, 6 for Bridges, 5 for even Brunson. You can see every single player accumulating rebounds for the New York Knicks. Josh Hart didn't even play a lot because Landry Shamet off the bench, his three-point scoring has been so valuable to this Knicks team, especially when you have such a differential between the three-point off-ball movement of a Landry Shamet versus the hard-nosed rebounding and interior presence of Josh Hart. But man, who played a great game too? Mikal Bridges was 7 for 8 heading into the fourth quarter. Now, mind you, he finished 8 for 13. He took a couple really stupid fadeaways late in the game. But when you're hitting like Mikal Bridges is, we talked about him later into the season as one of the most disappointing players of the entire NBA season, right? 14 points, under 4 rebounds, under 4 assists. When you trade away 5 first-round picks, basically 6 for a guy of his caliber, you expect better counting stats than that. Well, this is why you trade for him, right? 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover. Jalen Brunson, very inefficient game. Mind you, Jalen Brunson through 2 games has been incredible during late fourth quarter moments. But I do want to say that through the first 3 quarters of both games, I do think Jalen Brunson has underperformed through 2 games, which is crazy to say because they're up 2-0. But Jalen Brunson really has been very inefficient. Now, mind you, he makes it up with his lack of defensive liabilities. That was a big thing coming into this series that I expected. De'Aaron Fox, Castle, and Harper being a little bit bigger than Brunson. I really thought that they would want to attack Brunson, get him in foul trouble, take advantage of the size advantage they have. Really has not been a factor in this series at all. Realistically, the Spurs have just been settling too much on the perimeter for three-pointers and bad looks. Whereas the Knicks are getting into the paint. They're hitting their ball movement. I mean, there was a couple possessions where they weren't shooting their shot until almost 1 second left on the shot clock, but it was after a full rotation of ball movement, right? Like Mikal Bridges hit 1-3 in the corner with like 0.6 seconds left on the shot clock after everything around was such beautiful ball movement. But you look at the Spurs, right? This was a game 2 that the Spurs had to win. Going into the fourth quarter, this one, the Spurs were down by, I believe it was 8 points. 8 or 10 points that they went on a good run at the end of the third quarter. And then there was a clip of Wemby just absolutely going ballistic in the huddle, right? He's like screaming at his teammates, trying to get them hype. And next thing you know, right after that, Spurs go on like a 10-0 run, and boom, they're back in it with about 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And then it was just put the ball in the basket, right? Who's gonna step up when needed? I thought Landry Shamet hit a couple really, really important three-pointers in this one. Karl Anthony Towns continues to be an efficient offensive player. That was my biggest takeaway from this entire playoffs is Cat putting his shoulder down, driving into a guy like Wemby, getting physical with him, not just settling for the perimeter shots, but less than half of Cat's shots are coming from behind the arc, and more than half of Wemby's shots are coming from behind the arc. That's not a recipe for success if you're the San Antonio Spurs, and if you're the Knicks, you love what you're seeing. OG Anunoby has just been Mr. Gadget guy, puts his head down, goes to work, and does exactly what is asked from him. He had a really, really important fourth quarter in Game 2. Finished with 17, 4, and 3 with 2 steals, 2 blocks, no turnovers. Very impressed with OG Anunoby in this one. Well, let's move back over to the San Antonio Spurs. What went wrong in this? Well, they had a chance to take the lead with less than 45 seconds on the clock, or really less than 25 seconds on the clock, and Stephon Castle and Victor Wembanyama have a moment where Castle looks at Wemby, thinks he's going to dribble the ball up the court, and as Castle moves his head back forward, Wemby tries to pass to Castle, bounces off of his back. Brunson reacts immediately, grabs the ball, gets fouled by Wemby, goes to the free throw line, makes one, puts the Knicks up 1. Now, I thought Wemby had a great look at the game winner. I mean, Mitchell Robinson on you, deep mid-range shot, but I mean, that's the shot that you want if you're Wemby. He just missed. He just straight up missed the game winner there. And the Knicks take both games on the road in San Antonio, heading back to Madison Square Garden, which has been by far the hardest place for teams to play right now. What is it? The Knicks are now on a 13-game or 14-game postseason win streak. This doesn't happen, guys. Straight up. And mind you, if it does happen, there's not really an asterisk that you can put next to any of their series. I mean, in round 1, the Knicks fended off the Atlanta Hawks, who are fully healthy. Then you get to series 2. Now, mind you, the Sixers were banged up technically. Embiid was banged up the whole series. But game 2, OG Anunoby missed a game. Joel Embiid missed a game. I mean, both teams felt very even the whole series. They won in 4. Then they play the extremely healthy Cavaliers. Well, what happens in game 1? They blow a 22-point lead with 7.5 minutes to go. Next thing you know, the Cavs get swept. And here we are now where the Knicks still have not lost a game since the Hawks series, since C.J. McCollum hit a game winner on them. So incredibly impressive. I thought the run that the Spurs went on to start that fourth quarter was really something that I thought was going to be a momentum shift in this series. And it really just didn't turn out to be, because of the fact that Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and Jalen Brunson played so good late in that fourth quarter with their defensive rotations, hitting their shots, running in transition. So now we're heading into Game 3 tonight at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks up 2-0. Now, I will say a lot of Knicks fans are kind of penning in the fact that they're going to win this series, maybe as little as 4. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I do believe that the Knicks in 4 is as real of a possibility as it could be. But I do want to say, don't count out the Spurs just yet. The Spurs have had their backs against the wall many times, not just in this postseason, but as of recently. They are a very young team. Wemby had a great quote at the beginning of the series that said he was asked about if their lack of experience in the playoffs and their youth is going to hurt them. And he said, I actually think it'll do the opposite because we don't know what we're capable of yet in a way. We don't know what's impossible or possible. And I do believe that the Spurs are going to come out tonight with a lot of energy in Madison Square Garden, trying to quiet that crowd. I just don't see the Spurs going down this easy, even in Madison Square. I think it's going to be a very similar game to that game 2, where it's going to be a game of runs, right? Both ways. Who's going to be leading heading into the fourth quarter? Who's going to have to come back? How much is that momentum going to shift? How are teams going to get their other star player in foul trouble? I need the Spurs to start attacking Jalen Brunson defensively. If they want to win this series, they cannot just allow these Knicks players to not be in foul trouble late in the fourth quarter. I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns has been a guy his entire career that I've looked at and been like, dude's always in foul trouble. Like, he's always making something happen in a negative way. And mind you, he was in foul trouble. I believe he had 4 fouls or 5 fouls with like 8 minutes to go in this game. Josh Hart in foul trouble after not really hitting any of his shots. But, like, if I'm the Spurs, you got to get Brunson in foul trouble. You got to get guys like him off the floor because this team is significantly worse with Jose Alvarado and Deuce McBride out there. Now, mind you, I think they both played great, but they are significantly worse, specifically in the clutch team when those guys are replacing Brunson out there. You just can't allow Brunson to be resting the first 3 minutes of that fourth quarter, come in with 9 minutes to go, and just dominate. Straight up just dominate. I mean, when Wemby hit that and one with 57 seconds left in the game to put them up by 2, right? 104, 105, or 104, 102. How do you blow that if you're the Spurs? How do you blow that lead? You are at home, winning by 2. Brunson hit such a beautiful fadeaway shot. I thought the defense was great, but then Mitch calls a timeout, and it didn't matter. This was the play. I'm watching it right now. Wemby throwing it off Castle's back, and then immediately Brunson running into him, and it's a body check foul. Oh, that was so poor on Wemby's end to do that. I thought the pass wasn't even there in the first place. And then Brunson missed a free throw. They had a chance to win if Wemby just hit the shot, and he missed the game-winning shot at home. Can't believe to say the Knicks are up 2-0. Coming home to Madison Square Garden. Knicks in 4 is as possible as it gets. If so, you guys will see me here in New York on Wednesday outside. And I'll definitely be outside for the parade as well. But oh my gosh, what a game that game 2 turned out to be. All in all, Knicks played great. They clutched up when it mattered. The Knicks are up 2-0, and the Spurs are down 2-0. Heading back to Madison Square Garden. I did think it was funny, though, when they interviewed Mikal Bridges after the game, and he was like, well, they were like, what's the mentality being up 2-0? And he was like, it's 0-0, keep fighting, because he has flashbacks to when Giannis in 2021, the Suns were up 2-0 on the Milwaukee Bucks, just for the Bucks to rattle off 4 straight against Mikal Bridges and the Phoenix Suns. So, hey, Mikal's been there before. We'll see if the San Antonio Spurs can do what Giannis did in 21 and come back down 0-2 and still win the series. We'll see. I still want to say Spurs in 7, but it all comes down to Game 3 because no team in NBA history has ever come back from being down 3-0 to win a series. We got to see if the Knicks can win tonight because if they do, analytically and statistically, this series is over.